The man poured his coffee. The engine is heating up and threw the new phone in the boiling pan. He also stole a hat. He quickly became a normal person. Rushed into the crowd into the small alley opposite. He looked back warily, avoid the eyes of passers-by, then quietly sneaked to the back door of the big hotel. He threw out his hat and took the passenger's car keys. Finally, we went to a red Potter by the side of the road. However, he was not in a hurry to act, but watching the flames coming from the opposite car. Take off your sunglasses, waiting patiently for the car to catch fire. When all eyes are on it, he calmly opened the car door. Just drive the car you stole. And then he goes around to the back door of a big building. Hurry up and get in the car. When everything is in order, he just drove off the road. I don't know when. A police car followed. After continuously howling sirens, he pulled the car over, and it was over. Now, he just has to obey. He's slowly putting his license on the dashboard, in my head calculating how to deal with adverse situations. I saw a police officer with a gun approaching. He counted 3 numbers too, gripping the wheel. The next second, he pedaled back and forth, thanks to his skillful driving skills. So, he dodged the oncoming cars. Just arrived at the intersection, he hit a passing truck. However, at the crucial moment, he's not slowing down, he's driving. Plunge into the alley. I was stopped by a car in the middle of the road. He hurriedly set the number back. When the police car is not stopped, then he backs up and jumps out of the alley. This time the police car is stupid. Even he himself breathed a sigh of relief. But soon after, he's pedaling the ga all the way around. Disappeared at the end of the street. But it's unexpected. This tale is so hard to cut. He suddenly appeared from behind and continued to chase. Right now, a huge parade with the HOA car slowly coming. Fortunately, he was able to turn in front of the parade, and the police car in the back is blocked at the intersection. Not long after, he drove into an empty lot and opened the trunk. He was just about to take his bag and hesitated, because he's not a professional criminal. Just because you are in need, you risk helping you. A man named Wei, owner of a small luxury car service company. But the company's been losing money lately, to a bank loan. Finally, to be saved was rejected, just like any other middle-aged man. You've got to deal with double pressure physically, and the economy to get out of misery. So, his wife suggested moving to a smaller house, to start again. But I firmly refuse, because this place is filled with beautiful memories. About your loss, son. Blink back to the day of my son's death. But you argue with your daughter. Life is so difficult. Fortunately, you still have your favorite car, to hide from the noise. But there's something wrong with the windshield tonight. It seems to have been pricked out. Now I can guess. The old colleague is definitely waiting in the car. Yes, that person is your old friend. I can't believe the way you to talk about it is different. They drove madly out to sea. Ms. Lin asked Ray for help. He did a small thing, because he was supposed to pick up a package. But due to misinformation, this caused the boss to lose someone, to atone. So, he had to ask his old friend for help. It turns out that when Ms. Lin went to prison, he took all the blame alone. He made his girlfriend marry his brother. The task this time is simple. Ray just needs to drive up and down fast. And they're making a lot of money. They've obviously done similar missions before. Then Ray knew, behind this is a non-American mob boss. It's called the Horse. Turns out, he's in debt to an international gang. I know these people aren't easy to deal with. Best to stay away. Not to involve the family, but think about the current predicament. Ray is still interested. So the next day, I went with a friend to a restaurant. It's African style, to meet the Black brothers of the crime syndicate. I can't believe the old man knew the enemy very well, not saying a lot of polite words. That directly embarked on collaborative exploration. Then his younger brother Danzo, give me a new cell phone. The address was sent there, give me an old car. Ray's mission is simple. Just pick up a fat guy, then take it to the designated location, then wait to see the situation. Finally, you can return both the people and the goods. The fat guy walked into the building. Because it's the weekend, there's almost no AI, only Miss Lin. The sanitation worker has been waiting for a long time. Follow the fat guy into the office. But now the safe tried twice and still couldn't be opened. In a hurry, Ms. Lin pulled out her gun. The fat man hardly explained. Maybe the partner changed the new password. Just call and ask. The fat guy finally got the right password. As soon as Ms. Lin gets the package in her safe. Ray is watching outside. Suddenly I found a police car, in a hurry to arrive. I'll call right away. Let them know that the police are down there. Tell them to take the stairs quickly. Go to the back door of the building for a reunion. And then you look closely, and aim for a red voucher. Parked across the street from you. Handheld water cup open capo. Unplug the power cord of the motor. Then fill the engine with coffee. Then pretend to be a pedestrian, and stole the Potter. That's Gray. Use skillful driving skills to escape the pursuit of the police. I hesitated to take the package, and pulled today's guys out of the car. Under the cover of the boisterous parade, the company eventually returned to the company, Ray's luxury car service, and very quickly the old man brought his men here. The enemy has just arrived. Why does it cause such a big stir? Ray was in a hurry to explain. Because of an emergency, I immediately destroyed the car and the phone. No one will be able to track it. What's in the package? You never see what it is. Because you're just a delivery guy. Such professionalism. He felt that Ray was a careful man. But the one who's not careful is the fat guy. It was obviously his phone call. Made a partner report to the police. But the fat man couldn't even justify his brother. Ranzo went behind his back. Ray was completely stunned and the horse was even. My eyes don't blink either. Watch your brother beat the enemy to death, then wipe the blood on your face. Take out envelopes full of money. Gray now understood that. I can't get out of this quagmire anymore. What am I paying you for, Miss Lynn? Is this your problem, or I'll solve it? We're not strangers anymore, Gray. Are you a small boss of a luxury car repair shop, but getting involved in the mission? Kill witnesses for the gang. Ray will only help you as a driver. One day the gang killed the lawyer. Call the police in your workshop. That is, the disposal of the body happened to belong to you and me. Brother Colin, they packed bodies all night, packed them in the trunk, and wiped the blood off the floor. They burned all their bloody clothes, along with the burning forest fire. Maybe even the guilt is hard to erase. The rays are also burning. The next morning, the two of them hurried to the beach. But ironically, at this very moment, Miss Lynn received another call from probation officers. He had forgotten that today was a test day. My investigation. He doesn't want to go back to prison. Gray had to take Miss Lynn back to the yacht first. Before breaking up, I didn't forget to be careful, being a taxi driver, and collect money to avoid police attention. As soon as I got home, Gray hurriedly emptied the freezer in Gara, and then put the wrapped body inside. I still don't feel safe. Again, take a 100-pound sandbag and put it on top of the cabinet. Not long after, the police came to the door. Turns out they're here to investigate the carjacking that happened yesterday. The police suspect it may be related to Ms. Lynn. Ray is very nervous right now, but on the outside, it doesn't leave any room. He only explained that although he was good friends with Miss Lynn, but they haven't seen each other in a long time, his wife seemed to sense his abnormality, but did not expect. You made up a reason to cover it up. The next day, you to go back to that abandoned amusement park. This time the body is in big trouble, even though they successfully threw the body into the water hole. But I didn't expect the wheel to be bogged down by SA to people to fight a battle. Right now, Ray's pent-up emotions finally exploded. For coming back to this place, I suddenly remembered my son, lost a year ago. I'm glad you finally calmed down. It's time for you to step out of your grief. Right now, I accidentally discovered an abandoned steel cable. I immediately came up with the idea. So, to people tie one end to the front of the car, gearhead threading through pulley on iron frame to lift heavy objects high. Then the two coordinate. Colin pulled down. Ray immediately started the car. Finally, they can pull people and cars out of the swamp. The boss doesn't sit still. The old man's men quickly investigated the matter. Ray's son is dead. Reports that the boy was shot dead when he was robbed of his car. So, the Black Sister. I'm starting to worry about the horse's human strategy. At this time, Ray and Colin returned to report the results. They kept their promise, secretly handling the body. Colin also received a well-deserved salary. However, Ray was kept by the horse. The enemy wants one. The driver is as calm as you are. Before he could refuse, the horse said, I'm in a hurry to get you home. We will talk on the way. So Gray replaced the old driver. At the same time, he gained the full trust of his mother. However, not long after, I found out I was being followed by a black car. You immediately accelerate, but this unsightly tail is still clinging to the back, and then suddenly you're ahead. Right now, the horse and the car seem to have a bad feeling. Hurry up and hug your son. Of course, his hunch wasn't wrong. The car in front quickly crossed the road, and soon after, they found a pickup truck in the hole. Slowly move forward. Everyone in the car wears the same mask. Ray saw that and gripped the wheel. I didn't let the enemy act. Then drive. Crashed into an obstacle at Lawi intersection. Fast forward to the left to escape. I thought I'd just run into the village and escape. I can't believe the car is at fault right now. I can't believe that the enemy is going faster. This time they fired directly. If this situation continues, they only have a way. That's death. Ray had to drive to the nearest hiding place. Then, I hurried out of the car first and carried the child out. However, the enemy's fire was extremely strong. Both groups of people went to the scene. In this critical situation, Ray is on duty to protect the child. That's when the horse shot back. Then he immediately hugged the child and ran out. And then they ran into a cemetery. You hide the child first, then stick your head out and look, just in time to see the horse running away. Black shot from behind. The child could not help but hear the gunfire. I wanted to run out to find my dad. Ray saw that. He immediately hugged the child who had just lost his father. First day driving for the boss. Then, the man was pursued by the enemy with heavy gunfire, even though you protected the enemy's son. But now the boss was shot. fallen on the ground. Take a deep breath. At the same time, I'm confused about what to do. Fortunately, the police helicopter arrived in time. The assassins don't want more trouble. Hurry up and run away. Ray saw that and immediately came. The old man is unconscious, and then I took him to the cemetery. The child has just arrived. However, the scene of the shooting will soon be investigated by police. In times of emergency, Ray reluctantly knocks on the church door. The one who opened the door was the nun Ani. I consider her a sister, even though she's very reluctant. But for the poor child, let 3 people in. Before we figure out who the whistleblower is, the horse suspects everyone. He not only doesn't trust Ani, I can't even make a phone call. Give your right arm strength. The boy next door didn't understand. He was shouted at, but he can only listen to Ray's arrangements. That's Annie, based on years of experience, to be a nurse, to stitch up the wound, get the horse shot through. It's also in the moment she has revealed, I have a long-term relationship with Ray. It turns out that it was Ray who risked his life to save it, that she kept alive. I can't believe they just fixed the wound. She was suddenly discovered by another nun. I was in a hurry to explain, as a priestess. She can only meet all the requirements, and Ray stepped forward. They've just been robbed by a group of armed men and called the police. The police are on their way, but unexpectedly, the priestess soon saw the clue. At this point, Ray had to threaten. Just tempting to tell the truth. He promised to leave soon. Then I called Miss Lynn. Colin is upset right now. My brother stole his girlfriend. Turns out he spent 17 years in prison and got out. I just found out my girlfriend is pregnant with my brother's baby. At the same time, his black sister discovered him. Brother and nephew suddenly lost contact. Tell Ranzo to gather his men. Right after that, she immediately led someone to ask a junior who knew. The plan finally got the name Anton. Nobody knows that Anton, this mystery, is the owner of a landfill, specialized in handling scrap cars. Apparently, the assassin returned to the report and he was horrified because he can't afford to make a mistake. For the 3rd time, the killer is in a hurry. Gold goes back for clues. But right now, the scene of the shooting, they were completely locked down by the police. It's unfortunate. Suddenly, he saw the church in the distance. Police are also at the scene. Gray's car was shot at. There was only one useless radio left in the car, so the police rushed to Gray's wife and children. But they haven't seen anyone all day. No one knows that Gray was walking in front of the church, just in time to see the killer. I hurried back and told him to leave. But the enemy wants to take a gun out and risk his life. Just at the time you were arguing, the killer outside threatened Annie with a gun. Reluctant, Annie had to deliberately make a noise to follow. When the medical room door is opened, there's really no AI inside, but the killer saw blood filling the bed, still refused to give up, and then forced Annie to open the door inside. But it's also empty inside. At this moment, the assassin was surprised. I saw the horse behind another door, but he was about to raise his gun. He was pushed by a Ray from behind. Strong against the wall, the two of them immediately wrestled each other, but the young assassin is fine. So it wasn't long before Ray was in a weak position, and then I had an idea, hugging the killer straight into the glass. But the killer tried to pick up the gun. At this important time, thanks to Ani in the back, in time to pick up the giant chalice, Ray was finally saved. At this point, the horse also wants to draw a killer gun, but you stopped me. Not long after Colin arrived, they tied the killer to the trunk, then get the old man and the child in the car. The whole team quickly left. That is, Gray and Miss Lynn brought the father and son safely home. But in the end, is that the AI revealed the secret travel road. On the way back home, Ray couldn't help but suspect Miss Lynn. However, the enemy is angry because of this. You'd have been friends for years, so Miss Lynn didn't bother to explain it to me. In the end, the 2 old friends just laughed except for Cho. Gray then went back to the repair shop to sleep one night. I can't believe I just got home the next morning. I met an old acquaintance again. This person is not AI. The other is Anton, who mysteriously sends assassins. Before meeting the gang boss, the man wrapped his shoelaces around his wrist. Then call your best friend. Tell me if you don't get out in half an hour. Then arrange for your wife and children to escape. Finally ready to risk death. You definitely enter the lair of criminals. You're going to use shoelaces to assassinate the horse. After passing the security check, Ray finally met the old man. Is weakening from gunshot wounds. I can't believe you risked your life to save him last night. Today I want to take his life. Because you were raped by your family. If you don't kill the horse, your family will be killed. However, what happens next? It makes you a traitor. Under serious suspicion, unexpectedly Ranzo bribed the police, and they discovered a tracking device in the car. Ray was attacked, and every day they changed their drivers, their routes. But only this time something big happened. In the face of irrefutable questioning, Ray blames Ranzo again, who easily acted thoughtlessly. Fortunately, at the crucial moment, the horse broke the deadlock. When I need AI, some of you have been by my side. because it's important and it's urgent right now. In addition to finding out who's inside, we have to destroy the evil mediator. His name is Anthony. Then Ranzo was set to interrogate the killer and the Black Sister. They are busy communicating with distant businesses. Africa thanks to the horse's trust. Ray finally got a chance to be alone with him. I hurriedly closed the door and then stealthily grabbed the shoelaces that are wrapped on handout. I didn't know you were going to do it. Was interrupted by a pounding knock on the door. Turns out the killer couldn't stand the torture. Should have confessed. That is, everyone's come to the interrogation room for questioning. But even more unexpected, the one the killer confessed to. He's your best friend, Colin. He was stunned. The first reaction is, how to get out of this dangerous cave. Then immediately explained that it couldn't have been Colin. He'll never do those sneaky things. But every explanation, it makes no sense in the face of betrayal. Sometimes I have to call. Not long after Colin was tied up by the horse's men. Ranzo is hot right now. He wanted to execute the traitor on the spot, but he was stopped in time. But this time, it surprised everyone even more. I can't believe he invited everyone out. Just left for people here to confront. Right after that, he slashed the unlucky killer's neck with a knife and forced Colin to tell the truth. Ray was quick to condemn Colin. I shouldn't have dragged you into this quagmire. Then pretended to be angry. He wanted to kill the traitor himself. Then he took the knife from the old man. Prepared to act, suddenly he pointed the knife at the horse's neck. But right now, Ray's phone rang at the wrong time. Turns out your wife and daughter escaped because the girl locked the door when she went to the bathroom. This caught the attention of a guard. I can't believe your wife is surprised. Hit the guard in the back of the neck with an iron stick and then quickly ended his life. When the other guard discovered the body of his accomplice, my daughter heard me. 2 shots fired, so Grace knew she was safe. Tell the truth, because you spent 2 years in prison for Anton. So, after getting out of prison, you cut ties with him and his illegal activities. But in this war, Anton came to you based on the license plate. That's my wife. You became a hostage to him, forcing you to kill. Gray was forced to take his mother's life this time. This is also your unwelcome act. But now I'm fed up. The feeling of being caught between 2 sides. I want to go back to my peaceful life. The horse still owes you a life. So now I want to use my life and Miss Lynn's to pay back this debt. Give me an answer. After hearing these words, the old man could only nod slightly. So Gray and Colin are temporarily alive, but I just got home. I found the body in a pool of blood. But when you look in the bedroom, I saw my wife and children shivering, even though your family seems safe. But how will they escape Anthony's revenge? I was at the party that night. Anthony suddenly discovered that the horse with the stick came to find him. The meaning of the two. It also reveals the truth of the story. Turns out Ma's group is a gang for Africans to cross the border, unauthorized to go abroad to work black labor. Anthony is the mediator to make money from passport fees. Now, the cost of hiring workers is increasing, so the horse wants to directly contact the upstream clue to remove the name Mako Anton. He sent Colin to the lawyer to steal his passport. From there, pull the Ray, who are in need of money to the benefit chain of the gang. The enmity between the 2 sides push the rail, who just wants to be the good guy at the center of the storm. No one knows that. There are also bribes within the police. Tracker supplier for Ranzo. It was the police officer who handled the case. Ray's son was shot dead last year. Now, the truth about your son's death is about to be revealed. Wife kills in self-defense at home, but the man tried his best to stop the police because the person who was killed was his junior, gang boss Anthony, with the enemy's influence on both sexes. They will either go to jail or will face the pursuit of revenge. After careful consideration, the wife still put the dialed phone down. What is the plan? I hear that. The hanging heart of the new Ray comes down. Very quickly, he went to his best friend, Miss Lim. 2 people have successfully packed the body with plastic sheets, and then he's in Colin's car. The rest will be handled by him at the designated non-tank site. Then the 2 brothers broke up, but Ray thought he'd be free to leave this time. Not expected. African black gang threw you an envelope. I opened it but didn't understand what it was, but I was in a hurry to escape, so I put it in my pocket for the time being. Then he returned to the house filled with beautiful memories. These many years. Where are you going? I also saw a picture of my lost son. It's like a movie constantly flashing in front of you. I finally put the paper cup in, super chlorine particles in swimming pools, then pour a mysterious liquid into it, then compare time with copper. If you are satisfied to leave, it's such a small device. We'll wipe out all traces of murder here. Of course, to the night, super chlorine particles and reactive liquids cause fire. The whole house was engulfed in flames in a flash. Ray's family is now in a motel. It's 10 miles away. Then Ray confesses to his daughter about his dark past. When you're in jail, your wife doesn't hide it. Take out a gun that you accidentally found in the bedroom while packing up his son's belongings. It was this gun that helped you kill 2 of your boys. The gang kidnapped her and her daughter. Ray was very worried about that. I found out early, and now I'm telling you. The girl was immediately excited when she heard that. She blamed her brother's death on her parents. It turned out that night, Way to find a bunch of thugs at the front door. Not long after, I saw my son in a hurry to get out. He obviously wants to go out and mess up. You strictly prevent. I didn't expect to be scolded by the rebellious son. I was so angry that I suddenly punched a punch. But as soon as I finished fighting, I repented. Hate, however, your son had a 7-degree depression and walked out of the house. I can't believe what happened that night. When you get to the crime scene, I saw my son in a pool of blood. So Ray always regrets this. Now, your son has been dead for a year, but the police still don't have a clue. However, what he found in the envelope later, it makes you completely broken. Turns out the horse's Junior Center recording. That sounds like the guy who killed your son. On that night, how can Ray forgive his mistakes? So, he hurried to the horse. The horse did that. It's because he's got a problem. Can't solve. He's a human trafficker. They wanted to get rid of Anthony, the middleman, to make money from collecting passport fees. But he was pursued by the enemy. He's going to risk his life fighting a battle. The phone call after that pushed him into the abyss. Dad, we've restored the deal with Mr. Van Butt. It turns out that the father in Africa is far away. It's not just magnetic control, restoring cooperation between the two sides, but also removed from office. He gave the whole job to Cho Ranzo. It turns out that Anton has invited the state's next attorney general, press Congress, through the legalization of seasonal labor, to make his business legal. And the horse's illegal affairs will be forced. There is no market. Ranzo is now the boss. It completely changed the way the horse worked. The Black sister can only listen to her father's orders. To support management, that night a new group of workers arrived. Despite the appearance of a happy black family, harmony, but Jonzo is insidious, not performing properly according to the contract, the environment he provided. It's very dirty and shabby. They even brought new black girls to the luxury hotels to be a prostitute. So Ma's business has gone downhill, has metamorphosed, but he did not obey my command to return to the land, but first seek support from her sister, then use a recording to meet Ray. Preparing to escape, his counterattack starts from here, Ray. Caught up in this cycle, how will they face their fate? Is this the truth? This man killed my son. That's right. Who is he? What's his name? Ray, I can tell you. But what price were you willing to pay? He's abrading the chassis number, then erase any traceable traces of identity. Then take advantage of the darkness to sneak to the landfill, quietly waiting for a black market transaction to end. I want to kill Boss Anton inside, just to avenge the son who was shot unjustly. To see another group of gangsters disappeared from sight, Ray immediately started the car. Take advantage when the other person is talking. Your phone is lightning fast. Crash into their car. If you feel angry, you immediately set the number back. Then back the car exactly 11 meters. Then set the forward gear and pedal the car full size. The car shakes, speeding up. Finally, he crashed into the enemy's car, the Mercedes right now. The enemy's bullet was on fire, like someone who's still inside. Then Ray stumbled out of the car. I want Anton dead, too. Clear, because the enemy deliberately hid the truth about death. Murdered by your son. Take away your chance to get justice. However, I can't believe Anton said he was a victim. And behind that truth, there are many secrets that cannot be revealed. As long as he's alive, get out of the car. I will immediately tell you all the truth, but I can't believe the lie of this scammer. I grabbed Anton's phone. I saw a big fire in the engine. Let the enemy shout. I still turned my back. In the blink of an eye, you've turned into a sea of fire. The hatred that tormented me for a year. It's finally cleared. But Anthony's death had another cause. Because last night, I'm angry that the horse kept the recording without telling me, but did not expect. The enemy has only had this for a few days, because in the package that Gray and his friend, Colin, stole it. It's not just a work passport. There's also a recording of the phone call that Anton's hiding. It's obviously me, that the opponent uses to intimidate that AI. Later is just, Gray adheres to professional ethics, so I didn't find out. But now I want to know the killer's name. Ree's got to help him do something big. As a response, clearly for revenge, you were forced to agree to this transaction. Right after that, I went to church to repent of my decision. Even though my sister, I advise you not to act thoughtlessly. But no matter how God or outsiders view it, you must also demand justice for the tragic death of my son. Then you give your best friend. Rin listened to the recording of the phone call. Not expected. Ms. Lin advised you to tell the police not to do it yourself. However, Grace's attitude was resolute, and I'm asking you to help me anyway. Make an important phone call. So Gray went to an old acquaintance, Hector's name in the antique shop. But the enemy advised you, don't go back to your previous life. This will attract someone's attention. Don't touch Anthony already knows. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about people in Chicago Ray's search for someone is clear. Show me you'll go back to the way you were. This will definitely cause the discontent of another gang boss in Chicago. I think for a moment, but he decided to avenge his son's death. Very soon he arrived in front of a house. I saw a tall blonde man step into my sights. You immediately confirm the information, the identity that an old acquaintance gives you. I don't know who killed your son. There's a teenage black kid. At this point, Ray began to hesitate, but he still tracked the blonde man's car to an old building. Then you come in with a gun. I can't believe this is an alcoholic CAI reunion. AA is even more unexpected. The leader considers you a newcomer. CAI alcoholics invited him to sit in the group to share. I saw the killer laughing next to me. Grace is touched. Tell a heartbreaking story about losing your son. The blonde man is a little annoyed. Go out and smoke a cigarette to relax. Ray pulled out his gun in the back, forcing the blonde man into the car. Quickly take to repair workshop, has stopped its activities, and then hand over the recording of the phone call for a cross-examination. The completely blonde man, stunned, then told the story head tail. Turns out he was drunk and on drugs. Just arrived at the intersection. He saw someone prying his car's windshield. Angry, he pulled out his gun. I can't believe the enemy panicked, not choosing the way to run. I'm going to pull a weapon out of my pocket. So, he started shooting in quick succession, only when you get close. He just found out. It's a minor. The phone in my hand is still ringing. He immediately woke up drunk. Because the noise of the train drowned out the gunfire, I hurriedly picked up the bullet. Panicked truck driver left the scene. He didn't dare to call an ambulance. Call your ex-wife, because she's the district attorney. However, the man gave him a phone number. Ray finished listening. I know that this man is your old enemy. But now, the blonde man is also plagued by conscience. He broke down in tears and vowed to surrender to the police. Because he is also a father, his wife at home needs him to take care of her. Obviously, Anthony, it's the one who's responsible for the death of Ray's son. Previously, Anton, are using money to support Laura's attorney general election because the enemy called for a strong crackdown. Such illegal labor. In terms of law, he'll have complete control of the horse. The leader of the African gang is causing trouble. At the same time, gang of non-professional black labor, they are also fighting underground. The old man's brother was transferred by his father, and his brother Ranzo took over the boss. But the sister, Sammy, always in love with Ranzo's way. You obey your father's orders. Take back all the passports Ray stole. Give it back to Anton. Overbearing boss. But you pick up the phone. Report the whole thing to the horse. People who want to come back. They seem to have a big plan. On the other side, even though Ranzo has taken over the boss, but still shy, always holding the mother's son hostage. But he's not easy to live with right now. Because just now, a black girl who was subdued to provide services, he had suddenly run away before getting on the bus. So I don't know. He was so angry that he ordered, let the kids find it immediately. 2 evening sisters Sammy to join the local casino boss's wine party. She said she can provide the enemy with labor at a more favorable price and higher discount. However, the casino had a prior agreement with Anthony, so the boss wasn't very interested in Sammy's offer. But right now, the casino boss doesn't see Anthony. He was killed by Ray, but I saw the tiger coming. He didn't want to sit down and talk, but did not expect. Sammy sent me a hidden video. Turns out that's an indecent picture of him with the black girl. He fled to preserve his reputation. I had to make a deal with the 2 African sisters. Clearly, the horse's counterattack plan was successful, and he didn't forget to deal with his brother, always against me. Then he called Cho Ray. Are you done? Our problem is being solved. Ray is holding a gun. He recounted his mother's order to kill. Let Ranzo hear it. When Ma and Sammy returned to the office, Ray was waiting there. I didn't kill Ranzo because you don't want to get involved. The internal struggle of the African gang. I'm fed up with these debt servicing transactions. This time, he threw the gun on the table to the 3 sisters. They closed the door on themselves, but I can't walk out the door. Then, I heard a gunshot coming down from upstairs. How are you? I doubt that. Can you come with me? Because your father is a bad person, doesn't mean you'll grow up like that. Then the black girl escaped from the tiger cave, decided to call the police. But your fate will be in the face of a corrupt police station. On the other side, the killer, the blonde, kept his promise. Go to the first police station. The story also ends here. The value of a film lies in its reputation. The value of a movie review lies in the feeling. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching the movie. How do you see this movie? Please comment below.